accessibility issues. Once I became a person with a disability and getting back out in the area and getting back on town, finding there were so many places that I really couldn't get in, or if I couldn't get in, couldn't get to their bathroom. And even still now, almost 12 years later, it's visiting family, that's the main thing. So getting around in their homes, if I can. So accessibility has been one of the main things.
Yeah, yeah. You can't get in everywhere you want to get to.
Exactly.
Yeah. How did you get involved with the research that we do?
Well, I had my spinal cord injury in '95, and I did my rehab at Shepherd Spinal Center. So I moved here in '97 because I'd heard about Achieving Wheelchair Equality, knowing that they had wheelchair basketball and everything. So from there, it just took off. And I've been doing volunteer counseling with children with disabilities before I actually got in my car accident and became a person with a disability. So I worked at Disability Resource Center as a counselor for 7 years. So that pretty much opened up a lot of doors from Achieving Wheelchair Equality and working with them and finding out more about the spinal cord injury, research opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like a big focus of your life is helping people with spinal cord injuries?
Definitely, because it helped me so much. About maybe 6 months after my injury, I visited 2 females in Charlotte. My mom's best friend lives in Charlotte, and 2 of her neighbors both were exact same T11-12 paraplegia, but they'd been injured for 10 years. So getting to see them 10 years upon, one had her own home and finished school, another had finished school, got married, and had her second child, about to have a third. So seeing that you can still go on 10 years later was so important to me, and was even from just that visit with them. When I went back home, it was just brand new. It's like I can do it. So I wanted to give that back to whoever I meet, because it's a lot when you're born and you're having to struggle with disabilities from birth, because I work with a lot of kids with that. But when you're up fine and walking one day and the next day starting over from the beginning, it's a real adjustment. So seeing someone else that has gone through that and going through it and still can do it, it gives you so much encouragement.
Yeah, yeah. You see those success stories. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you feel like anybody with a spinal cord injury can lead a productive and successful and
I think they can
life?
definitely lead a successful, productive, and happy life. Accessibility will play an important part, and having the medical resources you need and that team you need, it makes a big difference, because that pretty much determines the being successful or not successful with living with it. So, some people when they leave out of the hospital, they go to a home that they can't even get around it. So that'll pretty much kill your, energeticness and excitedness about it right there. When you get home, can't get in the doors, or it's not accessible.
Right.
So, and then a lot of time when you're new person with a spinal cord injury, and say you go back to a place you used to hang out with friends before, and you get there and find you can't get in. For some people, it discourages them too. They don't want to go do it again. They rather stay in the house. So just being out there, showing them what you can do is very important.
One of the topics we study is depressive symptoms and in relation to spinal cord injury.
Right.
Is that something that you've struggled with at all?
Not much, I guess, because I had so much family support, but I can't say I never did. Let's see. I guess it's usually like very few times. Okay, for a very recent existence, last Saturday our singles ministry, which I participated in a lot of their activities, but they went out to the beach. That was the beach fellowship, and it's the 3rd year, and for me to go, it's like, I really miss out on that. So it bothers me, but I ended up having another big event the same day, which was exciting. And Achieving Wheelchair Equality, we did purchase some beach chairs for here, but they're great, but it's not really self-propelled. Somebody has to be there with you, so it won't be the same going with a crowd of my peers, and that I pretty much lose the ability I have once I get in that chair because I can't push myself. So just small things like that. And I usually try to find an uplifting, encouraging, replacement for it.
What are some of the specific things you do with the support group? Can you just give a few examples of?
One of the examples is meeting someone as soon after it's possible. Because even during the time my accident happened, once I went to therapy at Shepherd, I participated in my rehabilitation process and everything. I did everything I had to do, but at night I was crying and adjusting, especially when they remind me that more than likely you won't ever walk again. But there's some people who won't even rehabilitate, go through the process, because they're saying, well, I'm going to wait and walk. So encouraging people to do what you have to do now, even as far as breakdowns on your skin. Some they're depressed or too, they don't want to get out of bed, and letting them know that, well, if you don't get out now and start getting around and move your body while you can, you're going to end up with an injury or a sore, until you're going to have to stay in bed even when you're ready to get out. So meeting them first on, that's one of the first things. And then continue follow through, because there are some questions you have in the hospital you won't even think about it until you come home, when you're living newly with a disability. So it's following through and staying in touch with them. And then 3, I guess I would say the 3rd thing, most important thing, is getting them out of the house. once they get the house set up and accessible, getting them out of the house. And usually it starts with back to church. That's why a lot of my focus is making sure churches are accessible for people to get back in, but getting them out back into the community as fast as they can. Be it it's going back to school, volunteering, back to work, going to a sports event, anything to let them know, actually live. So.
What are some of the common things that people struggle with accessibility in the house?
Accessibility to the house, the main thing, the first thing is usually getting in. Because when you don't have a ramp, or even if it's just one step, the first thing is the entrance. How are you going to get in the house? The second thing, once you're in there, is usually the bathroom. That's usually the main thing. A lot of the bathrooms, even the brand new houses now, we have, 4,000 or 5,000 square foot homes, but with a 30 by 30 square foot bathroom the size of my master bedroom, but that's not going to help if the door is 16 inches wide or 24 or whatever inches wide. So the bathroom door, getting inside, and then getting in there, if you're in a manual wheelchair or power wheelchair, being able to maneuver around to the commode, the sink, and even to take a shower or bath. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the main things once you get back home.
Yeah.
That living environment.
Yeah. Let's see, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Not too much right now, but even if it's for somebody with a disability, even if someone doesn't come to you, because we try to find out and talk with the doctors and therapists to let them know that we're here to volunteer, for peer support, but letting them outreach too and follow through, because they'll realize how much they benefit from it later. And so many of them want it, but like again, they're adjusting to a new disability at the same time. So, and at first, so many people, you don't want to be around anybody else with a disability when they have a disability. Because even me 12 years ago, I know, and a couple of my friends have said the same thing. Like, say when we go to a sports event, usually there's a seating for people with disabilities, all disabilities, physical, mental, and everything. And I don't know what it is, I guess to categorize yourself with so many different disabilities and everything, and you just, it makes you realize, yes, I do have a person with a disability, and I have to fight for this, the accessibility, to make sure everything is great. But some people that, that really deserves them. They prefer to be the only one if they are. But I know when I went back to school, I was the only one in the wheelchair at my school. Maybe about 4 years before I graduated high school, another lady came through and graduated. So they were able to set up some things accessible, but not much. Mm-hmm. So, but I was the only one in my school in a wheelchair. But it didn't bother me because I had so much family there in every grade.
Mm-hmm. Right.